Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
Raw was a pretty busy show, and we opened with a recap of Money in the Bank, after which CM Punk then made his way out to the ring. First, he thanked John Cena for all that he'd done. Then he, CM Punk, treated us to a clip of Drew McIntyre hitting Adam Pearce at the post-show of Money in the Bank and getting himself suspended. Punk then calls upon Adam Pearce to lift the suspension on McIntyre so he can get his hands on the Scottish Warrior. Instead of Pearce or Drew making an appearance, we get Seth freaking Rollins, and boy did he look annoyed. "Why do you stick your nose in my business?" Seth asked Punk. "'Cause I was trying to handle my business," replied Punk. CM Punk then apologised to Seth for messing up his title chance. Seth replied with, "Anywhere else and I'd let that slide, but if it wasn't for you I'd be standing here as the World Heavyweight Champion, which is the most important thing to me in this business. When you're clear to fight, I'm going to snap your arm and put you back on the shelf. Actions have consequences." Wow. I'm glad we're keeping this going because I didn't want it to end here, so I'm glad this little feudy thing's going. It adds a bit more to what's already happening with McIntyre. Yeah. Brilliant.
We then see Adam Pearce talking with Dominik Mysterio. Dom saying that he doesn't want the match. That match being a mixed tag of Dom and Liv Morgan against Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega.
Which I called, I think, last week. I said there'd be a mixed.
Yeah, I think
there'd be a mixed tag.
Yeah, because we knew it was coming.
Of course you did.
Adam Pearce tells Dom it's all signed and sealed and they'll be fighting later before he walks off. As he does, Liv Morgan approaches Dom. She tells him she's doing this to show Rey Mysterio who the real daddy of the Mysterio family is.
After the break, we have Jey Uso against Chad Gable, who appears to be carrying a rib injury, presumably from the Money in the Bank match. After about 17 hip toss blocks from each man, Jey manages to toss Gable over the top rope and follow it up with a dive through the ropes. Back in the ring, and Gable soon takes control with a headbutt from the top rope and a cover on Jey, but only for a 2 count. After a fight back by Jey, Gable manages to lock in the ankle lock, but as he does, the lights start to shut down. Gable releases the ankle lock and looks around. With him distracted, Jey spears Gable and picks up the win. Jey then quickly yeets to the camera as the rest of the lights shut down. Jey then rolls out the ring and runs up the rampway, leaving Gable in the middle of the ring awaiting his fate as it fills with mist. The piano played and Gable came to. As he did, Nikki Cross appeared, standing on the outside the ring, looking in. Gable backed up to the other side of the ring, rolled out and legged it up the rampway. We then cut back to Cross, who's now approaching the announcer's table with yet another badly wrapped box. She drops it on the table in front of Pat McAfee, who's back, and the screen goes black. When we come back, we're with Sheamus in the back with Jackie Redmond. Sheamus says, "That was weird," before Jackie congratulates Sheamus on 15 years, before asking, "What's next?" Before Sheamus can really give an answer, Bronson Reed interrupts with, "I'm the future, you're stuck in the past." "Let's have a match, fella," Sheamus tells him. "I can't, I already have a match against your mate Pete Dunne later," replies Reed.
After the break, Pat McAfee opens the box that was gifted by Abby earlier. And you guessed it, it's another videotape, which we'll see later.
Not a box of chocolates.
Unfortunately not.
Out next is the Reed-Dunne match. 2 quick moonsaults to the outside from Dunne soon put Reed down to the ground. But back from the break and in the ring, we see Dunne manipulating Reed's joints. But that doesn't last long as a sit-down powerbomb gets Reed a 2 count, and then this is followed by a tsunami and a win for Reed. After the bell, Reed drags Dunne over to the corner to hit him with another tsunami, but out comes Sheamus, and 1 brogue kick later and Reed finds himself outside the ring. Sheamus goes to celebrate with Dunne, but Dunne wants nothing to do with him.
We then see Sami Zayn greeting Braun Strowman, The Miz and R-Truth backstage.
After the break, we see Seth Rollins telling Damien Priest he's good, but also lucky, and that he'll keep his word and not challenge for the belt while he holds it, but he must do better. Priest replies, "When I'm done with Gunther, you can forget that gentleman's agreement we had, and you can name the time and the place." Priest then gets a phone call, but we don't know who it is. So basically he's offering another shot of the title to Seth.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Sami Zayn then makes his way out to the ring. He addresses the crowd by telling them that people thought he was the underdog, but I am the champion. It's one thing to knock me down, but it's another thing to try and keep me down, as Bron Breakker found out. So of course, Bron heads out. After staring at Sami and saying nothing while in the ring, Bron finally says there's no reason for you to give me a rematch. But I do get the feeling he's going to give him a reason. As quick as a flash, Bron spears Sami out of his shoes. Well, one of them anyway. Breakker then proceeds to put a beat down on Zayn. Backstage hands finally intervene, as does Ilja Dragunov, who tries to get his hands on Bron, but he's held back by officials. Bron just walking away. Back from the break, we see Dragonov asking Adam Pearce if he can have a match against Bron later, with Pearce granting his wish.
Next up, JD McDonough, Finn Balor and Carlito against Braun Strowman, The Miz and R-Truth in a 6-man tag. After R-Truth joins Braun in a Strowman Express around the ring, Truth gets back in the ring only to be met with a Balor shotgun drop kick, which in turn is followed up by the coup de grace. Balor then covers Truth and he and his team pick up the win.
Backstage, we see Adam Pearce telling CM Punk to go home, get cleared and let him deal with Drew McIntyre.
Back from the break, we find Liv Morgan stretching off Dirty Dom in an uncompromising position in the Judgment Day den. Priest and the gang then walk in, and we learn that Priest has something he wants to share with the rest of the Judgment Day, but not quite yet.
We then go to Michael Cole, who tells us the videotape delivered earlier is ready to play.
Tell me about your family, Uncle Howdy asks Bo Dallas. I took those that no one wanted, the discarded, the forgotten. I gave them a purpose. They're so happy, replied Bo. And as he answered, images flashed up of the puppets with their masks on and then with their masks off. So we finally saw who was under there. Bo continued, but now we must set them free. They need no master. Do you think we are sick? Yes, I do, replied Uncle Howdy. Then sick is what we'll be, replied Bo, looking at the camera.
We then see Chad Gable asking Adam Pearce if he saw the video and what he's going to do about it. Have you ever thought why they're after you? Asked Pearce. You know what, I'll sort it myself, Gable says as he walks off. Adam Pearce then enters his office, and as he does, we see someone sitting in a chair. As the door's about to close to the office, the person sitting down turns around and it's Bo Dallas. He smiles just as the door closes behind Pearce.
Back from the break, and we have Bron Breakker against Ilja Dragunov. A Gorilla Press power slam gets Bron a 2 count, and a powerbomb by Dragunov on Bron after Bron would climb to the top turnbuckle and a senton get Dragunov a 2 count. Outside the ring, Dragunov sets up for the H-bomb, but as he runs at Bron, Bron throws a chair at him. The bell rings, ending the match and DQing Bron. But Bron hasn't done. He drags Dragunov into the ring, but before anything can be done, Sami Zayn comes charging out to save the day and clothesline Bron over the top rope. But Bron is standing tall at the end though, dealing with both Sami and Dragunov. I can see a triple threat at SummerSlam here for the IC belt.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to get Dragunov involved against, not turn against Sami, but I can see that being a triple threat.
We see Karrion Kross telling us that the New Day is dead.
They're not actually dead, but he's just... Up next is Damage Control against Kayden Carter, Katana Chance and Lyra Valkyria in a 6-woman tag match. A gut-wrench sit-down powerbomb gets Lyra a 2 count, and then we see a triple suplex involving all 6 women. The cake stand gets pulled off, and the resulting pin attempt on Dakota Kai gets disrupted. And Over the Moonsault picks up the win for Damage Control. After the bell, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville swarmed into the ring and took out Damage Control, with Stark targeting Sky for what she did to her during the Money in the Bank match.
After a quick break, we hear from this new team, with Sonya Deville telling Jackie Redmond they're now running the division.
They're all running the division.
While this was going on though, in the background you could see Chad Gable speaking with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, presumably recruiting to take on the Wyatt Six.
And I reckon this is going to be a SummerSlam match. It'll be Gable and the Creed brothers against not maybe all the Wyatt Six, but a select few. So you heard that here first. Creed and the Wyatt brothers against the Wyatt Six, exclusive. Final match of the night, a mixed tag between Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio against Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. The women start us off, but Liv Morgan soon tags out as Vega ragdolls her about. Rey gets the upper hand over his son, but soon tags the women back in. Dirty Dom then gets in the ring to stop Zelina Vega from hitting a double knees on Morgan, who's in the corner. Dom then gets tripped by Rey and ends up headfirst in Liv's crotch, much to Liv's delight. A Meteora gets Vega a 2 count, then Dom stops a 619 by catching his father's legs as he swings between the ropes. He doesn't stop Vega though, pulling off her 619 as she swings between the ropes below Rey, catching Dom in the midriff. Rey then frog splashes Dom, but Morgan breaks the pin. Vega then pulls off another 619, but this time on Morgan. The two women then end up fighting outside the ring. Morgan though gains the upper hand and leaves Vega to go and attack Rey, who's on the top rope with Dom. Rey loses his balance and falls to the mat. Mysterio Jr. takes advantage of this and hits a frog splash on his dad and then covers him for the 1-2-3. Dominik picks up his first win over his father.
Morgan celebrates this by jumping on Dom while he's standing in the ring. This causes him to fall over, landing with her underneath him. The two get close, real close, forehead to forehead. Oh my god, they're gonna kiss. No. Mummy has to spoil things. Yes, Rhea Ripley is back, and you thought Drew was annoyed with Punk. She storms down to the ring. Morgan makes her escape through the crowd, leaving Dom alone in the ring. Dom tried to hug Rhea, but she was having none of it. Rhea left the ring and walked back up the rampway, with Dominik apologising every step of the way.
I thought this was quite a good Raw, to be honest. I mean, I enjoy all of them, but Rhea back, Bo in town,
Yep.
it's brilliant TV, and as I said, I'm sticking my neck out here and calling Chad Gable and the Creed brothers against the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam exclusive. Never mind anybody else, that's what I'm going with. Thank you again for watching, and if you liked this, then go and take a look at our Money in the Bank review.
If you've already seen it, then hopefully we'll see you on Saturday for our look at SmackDown.